Hello friends, welcome. Thank you so much for being here with me today. I am excited because it is time for my video showcasing the Stamps of Life January card kit. So I am a diehard member and a card kit member, and I've used everything. I have used so much product in this video. So let me go ahead and switch the camera and we'll take a look at everything I use, and then we're going to create some cards. Lots of cards. All right, so I got my glasses here. We're going to get started. So here are some of the things that came in the card kit that I totally forgot to use in my cards. But other than these things, boy, did I use product. So let's take a look. Here is the Die Hard Club, and I, of course, used all of this. I did purchase the stencil to go along with these, and I didn't get the secondary stamp and die for this month, but I am definitely going to pick them up because it is super cute and I want them. So the other products that I have used, I use this newer version of, let's see what it's called, the Magical Background, and it's hearts and little stars and things. I used that. Of course, let's see, I've got so much in my stack here. Let me see. I, of course, used the paper pad that came in the card kit. Trying to get down here to the other things that came in the card kit. Here we go. This is the secondary sentiment set that you could go with the puffins that you could purchase, and I did use a couple of those. And this, is that not the cutest thing? It's a A1 Puffin Folded, and I love that they're including these in the card kits this year. I think they're great fun to use, so I use that as well. In addition, this was from the Seaside Seagull online class. So I used these little wooden stumps. And if you don't have the online class one, but you have the regular Seagull one that was in, that was a card club set, it has a set too. They're a little bit skinnier and a little bit different size, but they could definitely be used the same way. And I also used the die for that. And also in the Seagull online class, there's this great large palm tree, and I used that as well. Now, there are other palm trees that the Stamps of Life offers that you could definitely use. It wouldn't be this large, but you could use it to get the same effect. This is new to me, and I couldn't resist using it, so I did make one of these gatefold pop-out cards. Here's another one of the little idea cards. I haven't used this yet, but we're going to use this tonight or today. And oh, look, this is new to me as well, and I couldn't resist using it. I actually used this one on several cards to get like a sandy beach bottom, and this one is called Beach Scene, I believe. I had to put it, I think it's called the Beach Scene. I did use the snowflakes. And for additional things that I used that were not the Stamps of Life, I used this great tag set that is from Pajama Crafter Stamps. And I used this really old embossing. It's a Cuttlebug embossing folder, but it's just the dots. So lots of companies have dot embossing folders, so I use that. Now, some things that I use that are older and came out of card kits from previous years are just some of the sentiment dies. This one says "So Cool." I used the "Wishing You a Day Filled with Good Things," "Just Living the Dream." I also used from the card kit this month the "From All of Us" die. And then I purchased this recently also. It is the ribbon slider, and I used that as well. So, all right, that's the product that I used. I'll go ahead and set these things aside, and hopefully I don't need any of them as we're going along because it's a big stack. I don't want to have to flip through it. Okay, card number 1. I've got a lot of my pieces made so that we can make all these cards and get through it. So here is my card base, and this is the paper that came in the card kit. I added a piece of the purple glitter paper and this fun magical background. I cut myself a strip from the paper pad. It was the opposite side of the little fish. It's this fun teal. This was the ribbon that came in the card kit. I'm going to use a piece of that. Here is our fun ribbon slider. I'm going to use that. and cut from the papers in the paper pad. I used that So Cool that I showed you. And I've also, this is one of the puffins that I used the stencil to ink up. So let's go ahead and put this one together. If you've watched my card videos for the card kit before, then you know I like to start off with a little bit of a simple design just to kind of get us going. I'm going to add a little extra glue in here in my cover plate here just to hold it on that glitter. Glitter sometimes is challenging to get it to hold to. So I'll go ahead and put this down. Oops. I tried to cut my glitter paper just a tad shy of the exact same size, but it looks like still I'm going to have to trim some off. All right, I'm going to go ahead and trim that, and then I'm going to put a few blocks on top of it and see if that won't help it adhere a bit faster for us. I don't know why that's not coming off of there. Okay. Let's see here. I've got a couple heavier blocks. Okay, while that's adhering, let's go ahead and glue down the So Cool. Now on this So Cool, this little thin one, instead of trying to stack 2 layers, I went ahead and folded my paper in half and glued it together so it's too thick before I die cut it. Because I don't like trying to layer up these teeny tiny skinny ones like this. So and both of these colors of paper came from the card kit this month. I really liked the color palette that was for the card kit this month. I can't remember what they call this really dark one. I think it might be peacock, but don't quote me. I would have to look it up to know for sure. I'm not good at remembering all the names of colors that people, I just call it dark teal. So there we go. All right, now I'm going to grab some double-sided adhesive. I'm going to take a piece right here, and I'm going to put that right here in the center of my slider. Slide my ribbon in. Go ahead and remove that. Now, whoops. All right, there we go. So I've got that all glued down. Now I'm going to add this onto this piece, but not yet. So I'm going to add this. I left this longer than I needed on purpose. Let's go ahead just like that. Now we're going to add this. Right here. I love that glitter paper through our magical background. I think that was really pretty. Now we're just going to trim these off. There we go. All right, now the next thing I'm going to do is go ahead and add another strip of my double-sided adhesive. And I'm running out of the size I need. I've ordered it. It has not come in yet. So I'm going to get that out of the way. And I'm going to put it right down the middle. Turn it over and put it around the back. Go ahead and take it off on one side. Now I want this, the pretty tag part to be kind of in the center. So I'm going to set it just right down there like that. And then pull up. Put this behind. I can turn that off. And same with this side. All right. There's our beginning. So now I'm going to add a little bit of foam on the back of all of my pieces that are left, and card number 1 will be done. And this little bit thin foam, I'm going to use that for this. And will this fit on him? Yes. All right. Got lots of scissors going on here. All right, I'm going to put our little puffin on first, and he's going to sit right here. And now I'm going to add the So Cool. So that I am recording this before the cold spell hits. So hopefully everyone is gearing up and getting ready for this horrendous storm that's coming. Now that I see it like this, I'm wondering if we could add some of these. I did not plan on that, but I'm kind of liking how that might look. What do you think? I kind of like it. Let's do it. So to add these fun pieces, I like to use my double-sided adhesive. So I'm just going to put a piece on there. And I'm going to put it right in there as if it's part of my... There we go. I like it. All right, there is card number 1. So I'm going to put this on an A2 card base, and on the inside, I'm going to stamp something to the effect of "You're so amazing" or something like that. So, congratulations or great job, something like that. As if it's to me, this is kind of like a card for somebody who has accomplished something. Or at least that's how I'm going to use it. So, okay, there's card number 1. So this next one, I also have all cut out and ready to go. And I'll show you the pieces that I have. So this is an A2 size. And then this is the strip that was left when I made, well, I made this one and then this little strip. So I don't like to waste paper. So rather than using another piece of paper, I just flipped it over and used it just like this. I cut myself a decorative circle. And then here I have my little pieces. This little guy, I used the stencil to color him up. And he's going to go about right here. And I'm going to put one of these nets in his hand. And this net I colored with Copics. And down beside him, I'm going to set his little bucket of fish. And I believe this bucket of fish came from the paper pad. I die cut it right out of the paper pad. And here's where I'm going to use that sentiment, wishing you a day filled with good things. And so I'm going to put that kind of right down here at the bottom. And then my plan was to kind of have these fish kind of going over his head as if they're jumping right into his bucket. If you're a fisherman, what could be a better day than that, than to have fish just literally jumping into your pail? So I thought that went really cute with our saying. So let's go ahead and put it all together. If you've been getting the card kit as long as I have, then you probably have a lot of these little sentiment sets, because for years, that's what she always included in the card kit, or these small kind of like 3x4 size sentiment sets. So I have a lot of them, and I like to pull them out and use them. There's a lot of great sentiments in them. Now I'm going to go ahead and do just a little bit of popping up because it just gives a card character. There we go. Go ahead and center that. And I think I'm going to put this right down here. But you know what? Now that I'm looking at this, I think maybe I want to put an outline around that. So let me grab my paper. I've got this really dark paper that came in the kit, and I'm going to go ahead and give this a really thin outline. I think that'll help it stand out a little more. Just going to put it right on there and kind of eyeball that. And now I'm just going to go ahead and cut that by hand. Hopefully I can get that pretty straight. Yeah, that's pretty good. I'm glad I had that piece of paper right behind me. So I'm going to put this down first. I'm just going to go ahead and glue that right here along the bottom. Again, centered. I think just need a little bit of glue right there. And then we need a guy, his bucket. I'm kind of laying out all these pieces first before I add my fish. Now I'll kind of set out my fish. Okay, about like that. I think maybe I should pop him up. I'm going to use this thinner foam and just add a little bit behind him. Which means I'll have to put some behind the fish as well, but that's all right. Going to cut off just a strip, and we'll use that to put behind the fish. I thought this one turned out really cute, and it kind of reminded me of The Chosen and the opening where the fishers of men, and it has the fish, and some fish swim the opposite direction. And what fun to just have fish like jumping right into your pail. I thought that was a fun idea. So, wishing you a day filled with good things. And our last one. All right, here's card number 2. Cards 1 and 2. I think these puffins are adorable. All right, for card number 3, I'm going to use another of these backgrounds. I'm going to close up my glue so I don't run into trouble later when I try to use it. Ouch. All right. So I have this outline of a circle that I made using 2 nesting circle dies. And my idea was to kind of like have my scene inside the circle and then some things that came out of the edge. So I have this palm tree, and this little palm tree, I believe, came from the Beach Life set. This is where I'm using the Just Living the Dream. I've got 2 of the puffins, and these I colored with Copic markers. I have one little bucket that I colored up, some clouds, and this is where I'm using one of the little wood scenes, the poles that come up out of the ground. There's probably a name for those, but I can't recall what it is at the moment. And then I have this piece that I also cut from the beach scene. Now this should be sand in the beach scene, but I decided I wanted to use it as water. So I'm going to glue that here on the bottom of my circle, and then we'll turn it over and trim around it. So I've just added a little bit of glue, and I'm going to add my water. Now, I didn't want to go all the way to the bottom because that's going to make this too tall and he would stick up out of my circle. So I didn't want to risk doing that. So I've put my water down a little. So now we're just going to trim it off. And there's our water. Now I want to take my little wooden stumps. I'm going to put those, whoops, I'm kind of too low, aren't I? Here, let me move it up. And I'm going to kind of lay out my puffin and what I want him to be doing to make sure I get the height right before I add on this piece. Because this piece is going to go around it. So I think about like that is pretty good. And I'm not going to pop any of this up. I'm just going to put it down right like this. He is just standing right up here. I'm going to go ahead and add this piece. All right, the next thing I'm going to add is my little bucket of fish. I'm going to add that right here next to him, sitting on this pail, or our pail just sitting right there. There we go. And now we're going to put this right here. Now our other puffin is going to be standing outside the scene. We're going to have a palm tree that's kind of outside the scene. I thought we would put a little cloud. Here, let me see. Here's a bigger one. I can't remember where I wanted it. I think maybe I decided over here. And then my Living the Dream is going to go just right over here. So I think we're not going to use the clouds. I wasn't sure on that, but I think I like it about like this. So again, this is if you're a fisherman or someone who enjoys that activity. He's got a full bucket. He's up there in the stump. He is living the dream. So let's go ahead and I don't know why I'm putting that away because I need it. So we're going to go ahead. Glue this down. Now I'm not popping this up, but I am going to pop up some of my other pieces. I'm just going to center this right here in the center. Hopefully it's in the center. And I'm going to use some thin foam and put it behind some of my tree. Specifically these that are going to stick out of my circle. And I'm going to put some right down here as well. Now, I think that ought to do pretty good. All right. So I don't know if you have watched the short on my channel here about my husband and I going to see puffins when we were in Iceland. It was quite the experience, and it's kind of a funny little video. So do check that out. If you're watching this, you might enjoy watching my puffin experience. No puffins in the video, but it was just a few moments after us seeing puffins, and it was something. This little guy is going to go right there. And let me grab one more piece of foam, and we'll add our sentiment in the top corner. I think I like it at a little bit of an angle. I probably should have skewed that over just a little more. He's a little too close to my... You know what? Let me measure this and see how, if it's 5.5. So let me look here. Whoa. What do you think of it down in this corner instead? I think I'm going to put it down here because it's a little too close. So we may put one of our clouds up here after all. So just living the dream. And let's go ahead and put our clouds up over here just to balance it out a little bit. All right. There we go. There's card number 3. Just living the dream. I like it. Oh boy, I'm excited about this next one. I made this one with all circles. And you can see here, I've got lots of circles, and I am going to make a kind of a rocker type card. So let me grab my, what do you call the scoreboard? That's what you call it. And I'm going to go ahead, and this is a 5.5-inch circle. So let's see, that's going to be 2 and let's see. I know how to do this. 2.5 plus another quarter, so 2 3/4. I had to think about it, but I got it. Hopefully that did it just right. Yes, sure did. Okay. All right, now this one is a, y'all know that math is not my thing. Okay, so it's going to be 2 and right here. I don't know how to say it properly, but this is where it needs to be. Oops. Is it 2 5/8? I think that's what it would be. Okay, so now we're going to glue these together so we have a nice outline. And we're done with that. Anything math related, we are now done. We can move on. All right, I'm going to... And I'm going to put that right here on we go. So I went ahead and glued this half on, getting my outline right, and now I'll turn it over. And by doing it this way, I find that it doesn't bubble up on me. Like when I do it the other way, where I've got these two glued together before I fold them, then when I fold them, sometimes I get like this bubble. Like, I don't know. You guys may have that, but I find I have better luck if I do it like this. All right, so now that I have my base made, we're going to work on this part. And for this, I've cut 3 circles, a scalloped, one with little X's, and then this one I went ahead and embossed with that fun dot embossing folder. And I'm going to add this one right here. And I'm going to add this one into the blue one, but I'm going to offset it a little bit to one side, like that. And now I have 3 snowflakes that I have made out of glitter paper, and 2 of them are white and 1 is the purple. I have 1 of the little puffins that I cut out of the paper pack, and then I used 2 of the banners that came from the set right here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to layer up these banners by just gluing one end together. And I want their bottom, you know, their tails to kind of be the same length. So I'm just going to do it just like that and then trim this one off. And I'm going to put that right here, and my little puffin is going to be standing on about like that. Okay, so I'm actually going to just glue my puffin right on there where I want it. So I'm going to kind of lay it out, get my banners where I want them, and then add my puffin. Okay. All right, now I'm not going to glue my puffin down yet. I may even pop him up. In fact, I'm pretty certain I will. But I want to go ahead and add my snowflakes. And I thought this rocking base was kind of a cool idea, with it saying you're the calm and the cold, because, you know, the world sometimes is rocking, right? So we're just going to kind of randomly put our snowflakes down. And this is, the snowflakes came from the Stamps of Life snowflake set that I showed you in the beginning. Let me decide here. I think I want it about like that. So let's go ahead, put this one down here. All right, there. Got glue on my fingers, so it's sticking to the pieces. There we go. All right. Let's put a little foam on the back of this guy. This is a little bit thicker foam, and I've got it open over here, so I might as well use it. And I'm only going to put a little bit here on the banners because I kind of want those sticking out freely. And I'm going to place him just, let's see, about right here. I think that's good. And now I'm going to attach this right here on my circle, just like that. So I'm going to turn it over and grab a pencil. Well, that pencil has no tip in it at all. Here's one. Just going to make a line across there and then apply my glue. Line that up. Just like that. And you can see I kind of offset it a little bit in the same direction as the blue offset. And there we go. I love it. It kind of rocks, and I like You're the Calm and the Cold. I think that is really sweet. I like the colors, and I like the way it turned out. So, okay, that's card number 4. We are rocking and rolling through these cards. Our next one. Whoa. Okay. Now, our next one, I've done quite a bit of the work ahead of time, because when I did the unicorn, you saw me kind of put together one of these with cutting all the pieces apart. So I didn't feel like I need to do it every single time, because it does take some time. And I had so many designs that I decided that we would go ahead and I would have it done ahead of time, and we would do some other things instead. So I've got lots of snowflakes here. You're the Sparkle in a Snowy Day. I had to use sparkly snowflakes when you're using that. Then I have a piece of the blue and a piece of white. And for this, I am going to grab, oops, getting it. I'm going to grab my jelly mat here that I like to emboss on. And I'm going to start with colored cardstock. In fact, let's do it this way. That'll give me more room. All right. And we are going to use this fun, let's see, what do they call it? Large circle stencil. I'm going to lay that out, and I'm going to use some of my tape and just tape that down, because it's kind of sticking over. Okay. And let me grab my brush. I'm going to use this brush. I'm going to get, I think I'm going to use, I wasn't really sure. Oh, All That Jazz. That's what I decided on. Just a darker teal color or a blue. It's going to show up just fine. So it won't make that much difference which color you choose, but that's what I decided to do. And I'm going to start here on my tape and just start adding that color. And I have no idea. I'm hoping this will turn out fun. When I came up with the idea, I thought it looked fun. So, and this one is a 5x7 card. I'm concentrating more on the edges and the bottom, because I know that my puffin is going to be here in the middle. So I don't need to concentrate my efforts there. But I do want to lift this up. That right here. Kind of add some on that corner. Do the same up here. All right, I think that looks pretty good. Let's hope that is. Oh, there it is. Okay. All right, we'll set these things aside, and let's see how our stencil turned out. There, perfect. That's exactly what I was going for. I'll set that aside. We'll clean that up later. I'll wipe my hands off a little bit. So we've got our white background. I'm going to put this right back here. And then these fun snowflakes, I'm going to arrange kind of on this bubble background. And our little bird, or our puffin, and the, you know what? I decided to go this way. I decided that the other day. We're going to go this way. So it'll be a landscape 5x7. And go right like that. And then our snowflakes are just going to go in this background. One needs to go kind of under here. So about like that. And that was my plan for this card. So let's go ahead and get that glued down. And I'm not going to worry about getting them in the exact place, but close, you know, kind of where I had them. My snowflakes are all going to be glued straight down, and then I'll pop up my Puffin and the sentiment. Oops, there we go. That one, I think I'll wait. Well, let's set him down and maybe we'll see. I forgot to tell you, when I made him, I used the glitter foam to make the puffy parts on his hat. Putting these snowflakes down, I get glue just all over me. This is one of my favorite snowflakes. I like this one a lot. I think it's pretty. All right. So doing your stenciling on colored paper rather than, you know, first stenciling light blue and then stenciling dark blue over the top and that kind of thing, just saves you a lot of arm effort. Okay, and now I'm going to put some foam under these two. Put a little piece on each of his feet. And we'll go ahead and put you're the sparkle on a snowy day. Okay. And now I'll just add our little puffin. You know what? I didn't think about that. Let's move that over. I kind of wanted his hand being, well, his, you know what I mean. Right there. Okay. All right, there is card number 5. Okay, and you know what? I've got 2 more, so let's hang in there. I've got this fun blue piece, And on this one is where we're going to use this fun palm tree. I've got lots of pieces cut out and ready to go. And on this one, we're pretty much just gluing it together. This is just an idea card, and then we'll finish up with our fun pop-out card. So we are in the home stretch. I don't think this one will take too awful long, but I had some ideas I wanted to share with you. So I've made this palm tree. I've already cut the brown pieces here and attached them to the white background. So I'm going to go ahead and glue one set of leaves that I've already cut the palm tree part out, or the coconut parts. And I'm going to glue this one right in its spot. Just like that. Now this one, I'm going to go ahead and trim out those coconuts. Before we go any further, I'm just going to reach back here and grab my green brush. I can find it. This one will work, hopefully. And I had my green ink over here somewhere. Okay. Maybe not. Oh, here it is, right there. Okay. And I'm going to use this blending mat. Okay. Oh boy, lots of mess. Let's just move all of the pieces here. And what I want to do is add a little bit of this green around the edges here. And then on this one, instead of doing the edges, I'm going to do the center and bring it out. Yeah. We're starting in the center and bringing it out to the edges. Okay. All right. Let me grab a wipe here because I've got it all over my fingers. Now I'm going to get some of this thicker foam. Clean off, get rid of that. All right, now finish this off. I'm going to put my thicker foam right here, and then for my top layer, I'm going to offset these branches a little bit. So you can still see the coconuts, but so that you get the dimension of the leaves underneath. And that's just a fun thing you can do to give a little more character to your palm tree. Oh boy, it is really hot in here. Now to do the rest of this, we're going to create a little scene right here on our card. And I'm going to trim this down. It's 5 by 7 at the moment, but I want to trim it down 1/4 inch so that on both sides. And I'm really hoping I don't get green on it because I've got all kinds of green on my fingers. But if I do, you'll still have the idea. All right, so now I'm going to put this on a 5 by 7 white background so that there's a nice white edge. And if I was doing this not on a video, I would probably take some of my blue here. In fact, here I have blue, so let's just put a little bit of color and stuff in the sky. I think that'll be nice. I forgot that I had that there. All right, now we're going to add our water. We're going to put our island in our water. We'll put our sun right up here. We're going to put one little puffin right here on the island. And then this little puffin, he's going to be in the water. He's got, I haven't really decided where I want it. Maybe behind the island. Let's see here. Let's put the island down a little. More like this. I hadn't decided that. Nope, I think our island has to go up higher. So let's put this in front of the island. And he's going to be similar. Just kind of cheering this on. There we go. And I was going to put his fish just right. You know what? I decided I was going to put the fish down here next to this one. And then put a fish in his hand. And then this one, I thought I would cut his wing and put it right here, but for sake of time, I'm not going to do that. And I hadn't decided yet what saying, but my greeting will go right here, but I'm not quite sure yet what I want that to be. So we'll go ahead and do that. When you look at my picture, you'll probably see that I have put a greeting in there. There we go. I love this palm tree. I mean, there's all kinds of scenes we can make with just that right there, right? Now let's put in, oh, and the sun, the water, that all comes from our beach scene. And then our palm tree, of course, is from the Seagull class that was online. If you don't usually sign up for Stephanie's online classes, you're really missing out because she always has some like fantastic dies included in there that you won't be able to get after the fact. So it's really worth it to sign up for those classes. Like the circus tent, there's just always some really good die. And I'm not going to put that in his hand, but that's an idea. You can definitely do that. What happened to my little bucket? There it is. So these two, of course, are fishing for salmon because they've got salmon in their pails, where the others had more of a blue fish. And when I was coloring these, I colored this one first, and the purple, I picked up the wrong color purple, and he turned out way too dark. So this one I did in the colors that I originally wanted. So I kind of thought he had a suntan. That's why he's so much darker. So I'm going to go ahead and put some foam on this. And it's going to set right here in the water. And then I'll put some foam on this guy as well. And he's, let's see, I like him on the big one or the little one? I think I like him on the little one. And then we're going to put the little fish just right here in his little hand. All right, so I'm unsure. Like I said, this is going to go on a white card background, and I'm unsure, but I'm going to put one of the little sayings right up here from I had this one that said, enjoy the moment, but I don't have a die to cut it out, and I didn't like the way it looked on this white strip, so I was just going to go back and pick out something else. But that is card number 6. Now we are down to our final card, and I think it's going to be really fun. So this is our pop-out card, and the way I like to do the pop-outs is first I die cut the base. Then all of the background pieces, I die cut those all at once. Then I go through and I die cut whatever the patterned paper, or if it's the other way around and the backgrounds are going to be patterned, but I do them all at once and put them back in place. And that just kind of keeps me from mixing up the backgrounds from the second layers. Now you might notice that I've put little strips across here because I'm going to have some of my puffins standing on these strips. And my favorite way to do this is to put it all together before I fold it. Okay. All right, from these little squares, I've made 4 of those. And I use the pattern paper that says "From All of Us." All right, I have 2 of the little strips here, and I use the opposite side of this paper, which is this one right here. And from one of my other cards, I used this as the background, so I had that strip. So, you know, I like to conserve my paper and use it in other places. And those little strips that are always left, I like to use those up. And these little panels are a good way to do that. And then my final piece, I've gone ahead and used the die that came in the card kit that says "From All of Us." There we go. All right, now of course you just fold this up and make an accordion, kind of, and these go back and this comes out. But before we do any of that, we want to add all of our, this one doesn't go on, but all of our group of puffins are going to go on here. We've got some fish, and there we go. We're going to put all of these guys right here on our card. So this little guy is going to go right here, and I am not going to pop them up. You might want to, but I'm going to just go ahead and glue them all down. There's a lot going on this card, so I just decided that I wouldn't pop them up. This little guy is going to go right up there. Put this pail of fish next to this fella. I think I'm going to put it kind of behind his. There we go. And this one's going to go. And all of these, except for this one, were cut out of the paper pad using the dies. All right, this one is going to have one of the nets in his hand. And now I'm going, this one got messed up. So now for these fish, they are going to go right over here. Well, maybe I do have to use this one. Oh, here he is. All right, let's go ahead and fold it, and then we'll get out all of our cards. And boy, did I make a lot of cards today. If you've hung with me all the way to the end, you are a trooper, and I appreciate you so much. Let's just move all this stuff out of the way. We're gonna fold it like this and like this. And at the same time, I'm gonna fold that back like that. And let's see, is that right? I think so. I think it goes like this. So it just pops right out at you like that. And I just think I love the colors and all the puffins, the fish, and it's from all of us. So I think this would be another one that would be a great congratulations or happy birthday or just all kinds of things. So, all right, there's our pop-out card. And like I said, this one's brand new to me, so if I folded it wrong, do forgive me. I'll get it figured out the more I have it, but I'm pretty sure that's the way it looked on the box. Okay, let me get some of this out of the way so we can take a look at all of our projects. So our pop-out, here's one of our wishing you good things. Our one here that doesn't have a sentiment yet, we'll put that one over here. Here's our 5x7 with our great big puffin. Then we have our living the dream. We have our first one with our so cool and our fun ribbon. And then our fun rocker card. I would love it in the comments if you would tell me if you have a favorite. It's always so hard to get them lined up where you can see them all. But there we go. We made quite a large collection of fun cards. So thank you so much for joining me. I will go ahead and photograph all these and have them in the gallery. So if you want to take a second look, you sure can. And like I said, thanks so much for sticking it out with me and checking out all of these puffin cards with the January kit. All right, have a great day. I look forward to crafting with you again soon. Bye-bye.